Welcome to Ponta Delgada in the Azores, and we are excited, very excited to be here.
Yeah, so last time we were here, we took a Royal Caribbean excursion. This time, we're on our own. So Ponta Delgada is a city that's part of San Miguel, which is one of the islands of the Azores, which is part of Portugal.
Correct.
Okay.
There's 9 big islands that make up the Azores. They're all volcanic in nature, and I think the population is about 250,000 people in all of the Azores, and this city has about 60,000.
One of the things that I love about the Azores and Portugal in general is the artistry and the skills that are demonstrated in these sidewalks and streets. Just the beautiful tile work, and each street and square is different. It's a different design, and that's just something we don't do in the States.
Yeah, this is the second time that we were at the Azores, and we were floored. We spent a lot of time just walking the streets of the city. This time we are exploring more of the countryside on our own, but each of those streets, every street had a different design.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So
Yeah, you could.
we're gonna rent a car.
I know, it's very exciting. You can see us looking around like, is this the right way to go? But we did find it, and we'll, in the links below, we'll send this link in particular to the rental car agency, because they were terrific. They were relatively fast to get us out, and this gentleman helped us so much.
Sean, yeah. We had kind of a plan. We thought, we'll go up north to the tea factory, and then we'll swoop back around and like do all around the island. He suggested a different route, which I think ended up working out much better.
Yes. I thought we could actually go further around, and he said, no, there are better things to see, kind of going slightly shorter, which was really good, all told at the end when we were trying to make it back to the ship.
Yeah.
So
we did this little circular route, sort of in the middle of the island, all the way north and all the way south, but around into a little bit of a smaller area. But he pointed out the 3 or 4 best places that we should definitely stop.
Right. And we knew one thing. We were going to head to the tea factory that we had learned about on the web earlier, but we really didn't know what else to do, and he really laid out a couple nice stops, as you'll see.
Yeah, so Marshall's driving a stick shift here, a manual transmission. So
Yeah. One of the things, and you can see some of the sidewalks again, and as we're leaving the city. The other thing is, this was a Peugeot, and
Renault.
Renault, yes.
Yeah, Renault.
And the key, it's almost like, actually, Sean told us, pretend it's like an old floppy disk. You actually have to shove it into the dash, like it was like putting it in a floppy disk to make the car work, which threw me off, but you get used to it.
Yeah, so this was here. Are we on the highway or getting to the highway?
No, ironically, we're on the highway and missed an exit, and you'll see us get off in one of the side roads.
Okay.
So you're both right, both things.
Now we're on the highway.
And then now we're off going back.
But it was beautiful. Sometimes there's just kind of happy accidents. One of the things, it was kind of nice to see a little bit more of the countryside, and the trees were really, really close to the road, and in some places it almost felt like the tree was going to grow down into the road, so that was kind of neat.
Yeah, we've been to France one time, and this road reminded me of France, except that much more green, because this is known as the Green Island, and you'll see it all throughout. But it really, I don't know, it was quaint and beautiful all at once.
So the first stop he recommended was a volcanic lake-ish thing. And you'll see as we ride along on the way there, just all this, the hills and the vistas that we can look out and see, and just the other thing I remember is there were a lot of cows.
Yeah.
There were a lot of cows.
This is true.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
All right, and we're getting to the top of this overlook, as you said.
Yeah, there was quite a climb, and then it was a very windy, curvy road.
Yes.
And then we got up there and it was freezing.
Yes, and you'll see Fire Lake was cold, but it is the meaning I think is Lago do Fogo, which means Fire Lake, and it is really just mountains all around, or a volcanic rim. I think it's an old volcano.
Yeah.
And we didn't have time, but people just love this area for hiking and even some rock climbing. And of course, you've got the lake right there. So it's definitely an outdoor wilderness adventure.
Yeah. So that was nice, but I was glad to get in the car and go on to our next stop, which was the tea factory I had learned about. And just the ride from that volcanic region to the tea factory was really beautiful. And then we get to the tea factory and it was
like
amazing.
Everything that we were thinking it could be. And yeah, it was just beautiful and right by the ocean. So you got this green and the blue and a very historic way of that they still make tea.
Yeah.
Here we are at our second stop, the tea plantation. And you can see behind me, I assume these are some of the hedges and rows of teas. So this will be
across the street even. There's row after row after row. And it's just really pretty here. Supposedly they give free tours of the factory, and you can buy obviously some tea and baked goods, we believe. So that's what we've heard on YouTube. So we're gonna go try it for ourselves.
Sounds good. All right. Well, guess what? It was free, and it was a private tour because we were the only English-speaking people there, and we asked, and this wonderful lady said, "Hey, two's good enough," and took us on about a 20-minute, 30-minute.
I think so. Yeah, she was
tour.
Very knowledgeable, and she told us about it's the same plant, but it's just different parts of the plant that they use to make, whether it was green tea or black tea, and then they also did infused tea, which she'll show us also. But this is sort of the processing of the separating the leaves from the flowers from the stems.
Yeah, it was fascinating. And this looks more like a museum. No, we were there on a Sunday, so the workers weren't there, but 5 days a week, maybe 6 days a week, all these machines are humming and working, and they still will let you get to it. I don't know if we get as close, but
I don't think so. Yeah.
But anyway, it was fascinating to see the process that they went through, and as you can see, I also like the fact that my name was prominently displayed on most of the machinery.
Yay for the marshals.
That's right. And there's the infuser you were talking about.
Thing. Yeah.
So it was very interesting and super knowledgeable, and we had free samples.
Yeah, and it was good. We tried them all, I think.
Cheers. Cheers.
I had the infused.
I had white, and now I'm drinking black.
Oh.
And our guide was right. The black's got a kick to it, and the green is very smooth. But she was wonderful. I learned a lot, and just to see the process of what they actually use during the weekdays.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's still a very manual process. That's amazing.
So in the shop, they sold a bunch of teas, and you bought some, and they were extremely affordable, and they're very good.
So we are still at the tea factory. We are among the beautiful camellia plants that they cut. Takes 4 men to cut and trim the leaves, and then they basically suck them with like a vacuum cleaner to start the whole tea making process that we just got a tour.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, this is what's amazing about traveling. We saw this, as you said earlier, in a blog or a YouTube, and bam, here we are in this beautiful island in the middle of a tea plantation that has been here for 150 years, and they're still using some of the same techniques they did long ago.
And I'm sure the camera is not really capturing exactly how lush and green everything is, and how many varying shades of green there are on this island is just absolutely incredible.
Well, let's go. Well, let's do a little pan, and we'll see. Show everyone.
I mean, that was, what'd she say, 37 acres?
Tea, and more tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could walk down through the rows, and yeah, it was gorgeous.
Yeah. All right, I guess this would be stop number 3. I think we will go to an overlook in just a bit, and then we go down to another lake.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of little paths on the side of the road, so we just stopped and took some. And this overlook, just seeing this again just brings me back to that moment of walking down that path and looking out over that valley. Just beautiful.
It is, and there were small towns of various sizes between the farmland, the woods, and the cows. We won't have time on this trip, but the local restaurants will cook their food in those hot springs. Some places will ask you to reserve your meal or your reservation 24 hours in advance so they can cook their vegetables, their potatoes, their beef or other meat. So after 6, 8, 12 hours, however long, I guess what they're cooking, they'll take it out, bring it to the restaurant, and serve it to you straight out of those hot springs. All right, back on the road again, and this next stop was definitely because of Sean. He said, this is really pretty. He actually didn't talk about the town, which I kind of fell in love with. You can see it right here. This is Vila Franca do Campo, or Campo. After the fact, I did research, and this is actually the original capital of the Azores, but earthquake, mudslides centuries ago devastated this town, and they moved it to Ponta Delgada. Yeah, thank you. Tongue twister. So we happily stumbled upon this thanks to Sean, and it was just, to me, it was just a perfect example of old architecture and old city in the Azores.
Yeah, you definitely felt like you were stepping back in history on this island. To me, with these little towns and the narrow streets and the just beautiful architecture and the old buildings, and yeah, it was pretty fantastic. It was just a very different feeling.
Yes. So coming down here, it was afternoon. We only had an hour or two left, and I had a little inkling in my mind that I'd like to finish up with a special little something that you didn't know I had in the back of my mind.
Clearly, no. You're full of surprises, though.
Well, we had talked about eating somewhere, and it is beautiful, and it's nice to be on the ocean, but not sailing the ocean, just feet on the ground and listening to the waves. So I think we'll do a little walking and maybe find a place to eat.
Really?
Maybe, like the one across the street. We'll see. Well, we made it back.
Yes, we found a place to eat, which was quite fancy. We took a picture of their history. The front page, the first page of their menu was their history. So, like everything else here, there's a lot more history than meets the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And we were walking very swiftly back to the ship. We cut it a little closer than what I would have wanted to do, but we got the rental car back on time and hoofed it back to the ship.
Yes. We had traffic in town when we left. We were like, oh, it's Sunday, 11 o'clock, and there's like no traffic. It's great. And then coming back 6-7 hours later, it was bumper and bumper downtown. There's really one main road along the water. Some of us were getting nerves, a little afraid.
No, me.
Okay, yeah.
You don't have to say some of us. He's super chill and relaxed, and I'm not. I'm like more of a type A personality, so I was very nervous about missing the ship. So,
well, we did get back in time, and we are not a dock runner, so all is good.
Also,
yes,
we haven't told them yet that we're coming back here.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead. What did we do a couple days ago?
A couple days ago, we booked our next transatlantic cruise for April into May of 2025. So we will definitely be back here at this location, not this ship, but we're looking forward to it. So you're the one who rented the car. You emailed them and organized the whole thing and booked it ahead of time. So if any of y'all have any questions on how to do that, he's your man. He is the one that knows how to do that stuff. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments box and you'll answer.
Sure. And any other questions about things you saw on this this excursion, self-made excursion, we'd love to answer. And thank you so much.